Imagine a place where the shadows don't just fall, they linger. A place where the wind carries whispers of forgotten sins, and the ground beneath your feet hums with something ancient, something alive. Tonight, we're stepping into a world of darkness, a tale woven from the haunted threads of Stephen King's Jerusalem's Lot. This is the story of Chapelwaite, a house bound by blood and terror, and the man who dared to face its secrets. Settle in, turn off the lights, and let the horror unfold. The year is 1850, and the rugged coast of Maine is a land of storms and secrets. Samuel Harrow, a scholar broken by grief, arrives at Chapelwaite, a sprawling, decaying mansion inherited from his estranged uncle, Gideon Harrow. The house stands atop a cliff, its blackened spires clawing at the sky, its windows like eyes that never blink. The villagers in Preacher's Corners, a mile down the road, avoid it. They cross themselves when Samuel's carriage rattles by, muttering about curses and madness. No one lives in Chapelwaite, an old woman hisses as he passes. Not for long. Samuel is no stranger to loss. His wife, Clara, died 2 years ago, and the fever that followed left his mind fragile, haunted by visions he can't explain. He's come to Chapelwaite seeking solitude, a place to bury his pain among dusty books and silence. But the moment he crosses the threshold, he knows this house is no sanctuary. The air is thick, heavy with the sour stench of rot. The walls, lined with warped wainscoting, seem to pulse faintly, as if the house itself is breathing. At night, he hears noises, scratching, thudding, like claws dragging behind the plaster. Sometimes it's worse, a low guttural chant, words in a tongue no human should know. His only companion is Margaret, a stoic housekeeper who followed him from Boston. She's pragmatic, her hands calloused from years of work, but even she flinches at the shadows. "This place ain't right, Mr. Harrow," she says one evening, her voice trembling as rain lashes the windows. "It watches us." Samuel tries to laugh it off, but he can't shake the feeling that she's right. The portraits in the upstairs gallery, stern, pale-faced men and women with Harrow features, seem to shift when he's not looking. One painting tucked in a shadowed corner chills him most, a man with Samuel's jawline, his cheekbones but eyes like bottomless pits, and a smile that twists into something cruel. Days bleed into weeks and the house grows bolder. Objects move when no one's near, a candlestick on the mantel, a book sliding across his desk. Samuel wakes to find his journal open to a page he didn't write, scrawled with a single word: worm. He burns the page, but the word lingers in his mind, sharp as a blade. Margaret reports strange marks in the dust, clawed footprints, too large for rats, leading to a locked door in the cellar. "We should leave," she urges, her face pale. But Samuel can't. Something in the house calls to him, a pull he can't resist, like a voice whispering his name in the dark. His search for answers leads him to the attic, a maze of cobwebs and forgotten relics. There, in a trunk sealed with rusted iron, he finds a journal bound in cracked leather. It belongs to Gideon Harrow, his uncle, who vanished 30 years ago. The entries are frantic, written in a trembling hand. Gideon wrote of a village called Jerusalem's Lot, a place shunned by the living, its name spoken only in curses. He described a book, De Vermis Mysteriis, a tome of forbidden rites that promised dominion over death itself. He spoke of a pact, a ritual to summon something he called the Worm, a force older than the stars. The final entry is a warning. The blood of Harrow binds us to it. It waits below. Samuel's heart pounds as he reads. He's heard whispers of Jerusalem's Lot in Preacher's Corners, always met with fear. The villagers refuse to speak of it, but their eyes tell him enough. Against Margaret's protests, he resolves to find the village, driven by a need to unravel the curse that clings to his family. The next morning, he sets out alone, a lantern in one hand, Gideon's journal in the other. The path through the woods is choked with brambles, the trees twisted into shapes that seem to leer. The air grows heavy, thick with the smell of decay, and the world falls silent. No birds, no wind, only the crunch of his boots on dead leaves. Then he sees it. Jerusalem's lot. A cluster of sagging houses and shops, perfectly preserved yet utterly lifeless. No moss clings to the roofs, no vines choke the walls. It's as if time stopped here, trapping the village in a moment of dread. The streets are empty, but Samuel feels eyes on him, unseen watchers in the shadows. At the center of the village stands a church, its steeple crooked, its windows black as pitch. The doors groan as he pushes them open, revealing a sanctuary that reeks of blasphemy. The pews are stained with dark, sticky patches. The cross above the altar hangs upside down, glistening with something that drips. And on the pulpit, open like an invitation, is a book, De Vermis Mysterias. Its pages shimmer with a sickly light, and the runes writhe like living things. Samuel steps closer, drawn despite himself. The air hums, a low vibration that crawls up his spine. He touches the book, and the world lurches. The floor trembles, and a chant rises, not from any throat, but from the stones, the air, the earth itself. Shadows twist in the corners, forming shapes with too many limbs, too many eyes. A voice, vast and cold, speaks in his mind, "Harrow, you are ours." He stumbles back, the book falling shut, and the church goes still. But the voice lingers, a promise of something waiting, watching. He flees to Chapelwaite, his mind reeling. Margaret meets him at the door, her face ashen. She's found something, a trap door in the cellar, hidden beneath a rug, its edges carved with the same runes as the book. "It was open," she whispers. "Something came out." Samuel's blood runs cold. He remembers Gideon's words, "It waits below." That night he barricades the trap door, but the noises grow louder, scratching, slithering, now joined by a wet, pulsing sound, like a heartbeat from the depths. Margaret refuses to sleep, clutching a rosary she hasn't touched in years. Samuel dreams of the church, of the book opening on its own, of a pit beneath the pulpit where something vast and eyeless stirs. Desperate for answers, he returns to the village, this time with Margaret. She's reluctant but loyal, her presence a tether to sanity. The woods feel different now, darker, as if the trees lean closer. Jerusalem's lot is changed too. The houses sag further, their windows glinting like eyes. The church doors are ajar, and the air inside is thick with the stench of blood. The book is still there, open, its pages now stained red. Samuel grabs it, intending to burn it, but the floor splits beneath him. A chasm yawns, black and endless, and from it rises a sound, a slithering, grinding roar that shakes his bones. Margaret screams, clutching his arm, as the shadows coalesce into a shape. A figure in a rotted cassock, its face a skull with burning red eyes, its hands clawing toward them. "Harrow!" it hisses, its voice a chorus of the damned. "The worm claims its due." Samuel hurls the book into the chasm, and Margaret tosses her lantern after it. Flames erupt, consuming the pages, and the thing in the cassock shrieks, a sound that tears at their minds. The church buckles, beams snapping, walls collapsing. Samuel and Margaret run, the ground quaking beneath them. Behind, the village burns, its flames casting unnatural shadows that writhe like worms. They reach Chapelwaite, but the house is no refuge. The trap door is open again, the barricades shattered. Margaret's courage breaks. "We can't stay," she sobs, but Samuel knows there's no escape. The journal's warning was clear. The blood of Harrow binds them to the worm. He sends Margaret away, promising to follow, but he lies. Alone, he descends into the cellar, lantern trembling in his hand. The chamber below is vast, its walls slick with black slime, its air choking with the stench of eons. The pit is there, just as in his dreams, and from it comes a sound, a wet, endless slithering. Something moves in the dark, not one shape, but many, figures with rotted flesh, eyes like voids wearing the faces of his ancestors. "Join us," they whisper, their voices blending with the chant from the pit. Samuel's lantern flickers and he sees it. A segment of something colossal, gray and pulsating. A single ring of a creature that stretches beyond the earth, beyond the stars. It's the worm, and it knows him. His blood, his name, his soul. It claims them all. With a final act of defiance, Samuel lights a match and drops it into the pit. The slime ignites, flames racing up the walls. The figures scream, the worm roars, and the house shakes as if it will tear itself apart. Samuel stumbles upstairs, coughing, the fire spreading behind him. He collapses on the cliff's edge, watching Chapelwaite burn, its spires swallowed by smoke. The sea roars below, and for a moment he thinks he hears the chant again, carried on the waves. Samuel vanishes that night. Some say he leapt into the sea, others that the flames took him. The villagers never speak of Chapelwaite, but they avoid its ruins, where the ground still hums faintly. Years later, a traveler finds a burned journal among the ashes, its pages brittle but legible. The final entry in Samuel's hand reads, "The worm is not dead. It waits, and it will call again." What do you think? Is Chapelwaite just a house or a gateway to something older, hungrier? A curse that lives in the blood, waiting for the next soul to claim? If this story chilled you, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tales to haunt your nights. Share your thoughts below. Have you ever felt a place that wasn't right? Until next time, beware the shadows and the whispers that call your name.